Why did the US government secretly smuggle Hitler's top rocket scientists into Texas and hand them brand new American lives, while quietly burying the day Japanese bombs actually killed people on American soil? Welcome to 71 Strange State Secrets Buried in American History, where we're cracking open the files they tried to erase, like the radioactive cloud Washington state deliberately released over its own citizens, and the oil bribery scandal that put a sitting U.S. cabinet secretary behind bars, right alongside the myths you still believe, like thinking Roswell was aliens instead of a top-secret spy balloon. So hit subscribe and grab a shovel, because we're digging all 71 up, one buried secret at a time. 1. Somewhere in the hills of Alabama sits the skeleton of a secret so big the government nearly buried it forever. During World War I, Uncle Sam quietly poured a fortune into Muscle Shoals to brew nitrates for explosives. Then the war ended, and these colossal factories simply went dark, humming with abandoned purpose. Whispers spread about what really happened inside those walls. Henry Ford slipped in with a mysterious lowball offer to claim the whole site. Politicians fought in shadows for years over its fate. What emerged from that silence would secretly electrify an entire forgotten valley. 2. Beneath the endless Alaskan snow, the military hid something it never wanted the world to find. During the Cold War, the Arctic became a silent web of secret listening posts, their antennas disguised as harmless weather domes. Soldiers stationed there were sworn to secrecy, freezing in isolation while capturing whispers drifting across from Soviet soil. Locals invented strange theories about the humming structures glowing on the horizon. Nobody was allowed to ask questions. Polar bears wandered past these classified outposts like silent witnesses. And every secret transmission those frozen spies intercepted vanished quietly into files that stayed sealed for decades. 3. Deep in the Arizona desert lies a legend that has swallowed men whole and never spit them back out. The Lost Dutchman's gold mine supposedly hides untold riches somewhere in the Superstition Mountains, marked only by riddles a dying prospector whispered. Treasure hunters vanished chasing it, their fates folded into dusty government files and sheriff reports nobody likes to discuss. Some bodies turned up headless, others simply never returned at all. Officials quietly logged each disappearance while warning curious souls to stay away. Yet the mountains keep their secret, daring the next foolish dreamer to come searching and never leave. 4. Behind the fences of Arkansas sat a prison system, hiding horrors the state desperately wanted forgotten. For decades, the prison farms ran like brutal plantations, where inmates worked the fields and unspeakable things happened in the dark. Rumors of secret graves circulated for years until investigators finally started digging. What they unearthed near the Cummins farm chilled everyone involved. Skeletons surfaced from unmarked plots, hinting at deaths nobody ever recorded. The state scrambled to bury the scandal beneath paperwork and silence. A reform warden tried exposing it all, only to be quietly pushed out before the full truth could ever escape. 5. Out in the lonely Mojave Desert, the military tested weapons so secret the maps simply showed nothing at all. Vast stretches of California sand became proving grounds where strange aircraft and stranger devices roared across empty skies. Workers signed their lives to silence, forbidden from telling families what they witnessed beyond the fences. Locals spotted bizarre lights and heard booms that rattled their windows at midnight. Officials denied everything, insisting the noises were merely the wind. Yet the desert kept swallowing classified projects whole, hiding them under heat and dust. Even today, nobody knows what truly vanished into that endless silence. 6. Inside a Colorado mountain, the government carved a secret fortress designed to survive the literal end of the world. Beneath Cheyenne Mountain, engineers blasted out a hidden city of steel, mounted on giant springs to ride out a nuclear blast. NORAD watchers sat deep underground, silently tracking every blip that might mean missiles were falling. Massive blast doors weighing tons could seal the whole complex away from the dying surface above. Few outsiders ever glimpsed what lay inside. The men stationed there guarded secrets about doomsday itself. And somewhere in that mountain, those watchful eyes never once stopped scanning the skies. 7. Long before America was even a country, a secret web of spies quietly decided its fate from the shadows of Connecticut. During the Revolution, patriots ran a covert intelligence ring, passing whispered messages and hidden codes beneath the noses of British troops. One young schoolteacher named Nathan Hale slipped behind enemy lines, only to be caught and hanged as a spy. His secret mission ended on the gallows with defiant final words. Yet the network he served kept operating in silence, its couriers vanishing into the night. The names of many spies stayed hidden in coded ledgers for generations afterward. 8. Along the quiet Delaware coast, the government buried guns and bunkers it prayed it would never need to fire. During World War II, engineers secretly fortified the shoreline, hiding massive artillery inside towers disguised as harmless beach structures. Soldiers watched the dark Atlantic for German submarines creeping toward the bay. Strange concrete towers rose along the dunes, their true purpose known only to a few. Families nearby were told nothing as the hidden fortress took shape. Today, beachgoers picnic beside these silent giants, never guessing what waited inside. The secret weapons stayed loaded for an invasion that thankfully never came ashore. 9. In the sunny streets of Miami, the CIA secretly ran its largest spy station on American soil, and almost nobody knew. Hidden on a university campus, the operation called JM/Wave plotted endlessly to topple Fidel Castro just across the water. Hundreds of agents posed as ordinary businessmen while funneling weapons, boats, and secret cash to Cuban exiles. Front companies sprouted across the city like an invisible empire. Locals never suspected the quiet offices hid a war room. Wild schemes were hatched, some bordering on the absurd. Yet the whole sprawling secret eventually faded into history, its files quietly locked away. 10. In the woods of Georgia stood a Civil War prison so deadly that the records of its horrors were nearly lost forever. Andersonville packed thousands of Union prisoners into a filthy stockade where starvation and disease swept through like wildfire. Men died by the thousands, their suffering recorded in secret ledgers that vanished into wartime chaos. The commander overseeing it became the only officer executed for war crimes after the conflict ended. Survivors whispered of a stream poisoned by waste and a deadline no prisoner dared cross. Buried documents later revealed just how staggering the death toll truly was. 11. The moment the bombs fell on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii quietly vanished into a secret it would not escape for years. Within hours, the military seized total control, declaring martial law and ruling the islands like its own private kingdom. Courts shut down, curfews fell, and ordinary citizens could be jailed by army officers on a whim. Mail was secretly opened and read, while fingerprints were taken from nearly everyone. Newspapers were censored into silence. People whispered fearfully about neighbors hauled away without trial. For years, this hidden military dictatorship ruled paradise, and the rest of America barely noticed it ever happened. 12. In the empty deserts of Idaho, the government quietly built reactors to unlock atomic secrets, and one of them killed 3 men. Scientists tested experimental nuclear machines on a remote stretch of sagebrush, chasing power no nation had ever tamed. Then, one freezing night, a reactor called SL-1 suddenly exploded, pinning a worker to the ceiling. The bodies were so radioactive they had to be buried in lead coffins. Officials hushed the disaster, releasing only the barest details. Investigators puzzled over what really triggered the blast. Some whispered it was no accident at all, but a secret the desert still guards. 13. Beneath the bustle of Chicago, a secret machine watched its own citizens, quietly filing away their every move. For decades, a hidden police unit known as the Red Squad spied on activists, politicians, and anyone deemed troublesome. They built thousands of secret dossiers, tracking enemies of the powerful political machine that ruled the city. Informants lurked at meetings while cameras clicked from shadows. When the files were finally exposed, the scandal shook Chicago to its core. Names of the watched filled cabinet after cabinet. Some records mysteriously disappeared before investigators arrived, leaving a chilling question of who erased them and why. 14. Hidden in the quiet Indiana countryside, secret factories cooked up enough firepower to arm an entire world war. During World War II, the government raised sprawling plants where workers pressed gunpowder and packed shells by the millions. Whole towns sprang up overnight. their true purpose buried under code names and silence. Workers were forbidden from speaking of the dangerous tasks they performed behind locked gates. Occasionally, an explosion would rip through a building, and officials quickly smothered the news. Families never learned exactly what their loved ones handled inside. The deadly secret labor fed America's war machine while the nation slept soundly. 15. Across the peaceful farms of Iowa, enemy soldiers were secretly living among the cornfields, and most Americans never knew. During World War II, thousands of captured German prisoners were quietly shipped into hidden camps, scattered through rural communities. They worked the fields beside startled farmers, picking crops and baling hay under loose guard. Locals traded nervous glances with the very men their sons were fighting overseas. Some prisoners grew so comfortable they sang in the barns, and even fell for local girls. A few attempted secret escapes into the night. After the war, many quietly wished to return to those forgotten fields. 16. On a windswept army base in Kansas, a soldier reported sick one morning, and the world would never breathe the same again. Camp Funston became the suspected birthplace of the 1918 flu, a plague that would slaughter millions across the globe. The first stricken cook collapsed, then dozens, then hundreds filled the infirmary within days. Officials buried the alarming numbers, fearing panic during wartime. The sickness rode troop ships overseas, spreading silently into a monstrous pandemic. Censors kept the truth hidden, so only neutral Spain reported it freely. To this day, the secret origin of that killer remains fiercely debated. 17. Behind the most famous vault on Earth, Kentucky guards a fortress so secret that almost no living soul has ever stepped inside. Fort Knox holds a mountain of gold protected by layers of defenses the government refuses to fully reveal. The vault door weighs over 20 tons, and no single person knows the entire combination to open it. Soldiers, fences, and rumored hidden traps surround the glittering treasure day and night. Wild legends claim the gold is gone or never existed. Yet the secret security measures stay locked tight, and the curious are warned that trespassers will never reach the door. 18. Hidden behind the walls of a Louisiana plantation, America secretly imprisoned its own sick citizens for over a century. Carville became the nation's only leprosy hospital, where patients were quarantined far from a fearful public. Many arrived in shame, stripped of their real names and forbidden to vote or marry. They built a secret world behind the fences, even printing their own defiant newspaper. Some dug holes under the barriers to sneak into town for forbidden nights of freedom. Families were told to forget them entirely. For decades, this hidden colony of the forgotten endured, fighting quietly to be seen as human. 19. Along the rugged coast of Maine, secret naval ears listened to the cold Atlantic, hunting for enemies hiding beneath the waves. During the World Wars, the Navy planted covert intelligence stations on lonely shores and islands. Operators secretly intercepted radio signals, tracking German submarines prowling toward American harbors. The work was so classified that locals had no idea what hummed inside the fenced compounds. Fishermen spotted strange antennas and wondered aloud about their purpose. Messages were decoded in silence and rushed to commanders. After the wars, these hidden listening posts fell quiet, their secret victories sealed away from a grateful nation. 20. Just outside Washington, the government secretly carved hidden refuges where the powerful could vanish when doomsday came. Beneath the Maryland hills, engineers built underground bunkers stocked to shelter leaders from a nuclear strike. Secret tunnels, sealed doors, and hidden supplies waited in silence for the unthinkable. Ordinary citizens were never meant to know these escape plans existed at all. Codenames cloaked the sites while select officials carried secret instructions in case of attack. Some bunkers were disguised as harmless mountain resorts. The chilling truth was simple, that the elite had a hidden way out and everyone else did not. 21. Centuries ago in Massachusetts, a wave of hysteria condemned innocent people to death, and the evidence behind it remains tangled in mystery. The Salem witch trials sent 20 souls to their deaths on the word of screaming girls claiming invisible torment. Court records and spectral testimony filled secret ledgers that historians still argue over today. Accusers pointed fingers based on dreams and grudges, and judges accepted it all as proof. Some documents vanished, while others surfaced centuries later to muddy the truth. Theories swirl about poisoned grain twisting minds. Yet the real reason that quiet village turned murderous stays frustratingly hidden. 22. At a narrow choke point in Michigan, a secret so vital hid in plain sight that losing it could have crippled all of America. The Sulaks quietly funneled the iron ore that built the nation's tanks and ships during World War II. The government feared enemy sabotage so deeply that it ringed the locks with hidden guns, troops, and even barrage balloons. Soldiers guarded the freezing waterway around the clock, watching for spies and bombers. Few citizens realized the entire war effort floated through that single secret passage. Had it fallen, the whole arsenal of democracy might have ground to a halt. 23. Inside a Minnesota laboratory, volunteers willingly starved themselves for science in an experiment few ever heard about. During World War II, researchers slowly starved 36 men to study hunger and how to safely feed the famine-stricken world. The subjects wasted away, their bodies and minds unraveling under the controlled cruelty. Some grew obsessed with food, hoarding cookbooks and weeping over recipes. One man secretly chopped off his own fingers in the depths of the torment. Scientists recorded every haunting detail in thick classified files. The findings quietly shaped how doctors rescued starving prisoners, yet the men's suffering stayed largely forgotten. 24. In the dangerous summer of Mississippi, secret files swelled with the names of people who simply wanted the right to vote. During Freedom Summer, investigators tracked the violence as activists poured into the state to register black voters. Then, 3 young men vanished into the night, sparking a frantic and shadowy search. Their bodies surfaced weeks later, buried deep within an earthen dam. State agencies secretly spied on the very activists being hunted, hiding their own grim records. Some files were sealed away for decades. The buried truth of who watched and who killed slowly clawed its way into the light. 25. In the early days of Missouri, the governor signed an order so chilling it commanded an entire people be wiped out or driven away. The 1838 extermination order declared that Mormons must be exterminated or expelled from the state entirely. Mobs descended on their settlements, and a massacre at Haun's Mill left men and boys slaughtered in a blacksmith shop. The terrified faithful fled across frozen rivers into the unknown. The shocking decree was quietly buried in state archives for generations. Unbelievably, it remained technically on the books until 1976. Only then did the forgotten death warrant finally get rescinded. 26. Hidden beneath the rolling Montana prairie, a secret network of doomsday weapons waits silently in concealed bunkers. Across the plains, the military buried nuclear missiles in underground silos, each capable of unimaginable destruction. Officers descend into cramped command centers, sitting before launch keys ready to end the world on a single order. The exact locations stay carefully guarded, scattered among quiet ranches and grazing cattle. Farmers plow fields directly above sleeping warheads, often unaware of the power beneath their boots. Behind blast doors, the silent watch never ends. Those hidden keys have waited decades for a command that thankfully never came. 27. Deep beneath Nebraska, the men who could unleash atomic war kept their deadliest secrets locked far from public eyes. Strategic Air Command ran its nerve center near Omaha, secretly orchestrating America's entire nuclear bomber fleet. From hidden underground rooms, officers tracked every threat and rehearsed the unthinkable end of the world. Phones connected directly to the president, ready to launch retaliation in minutes. The base guarded plans so classified that even their code names stayed hidden. Strange aircraft circled above, designed to keep commanding the war even after cities burned. The quiet heartland secretly held the trigger to global annihilation. 28. In a forbidden corner of the Nevada desert, the government built a base so secret it refused to admit the place even existed. Area 51 rose beside a dry lakebed, hidden behind miles of empty sand and armed guards. There, engineers secretly tested impossible aircraft that streaked across the sky like nothing on Earth. Pilots flew spy planes so advanced that confused witnesses reported flying saucers. The military denied everything, fueling wild legends of aliens and crashed ships. Workers were sworn to absolute silence, bussed in behind blacked-out windows. Even the maps left the place blank, as if it never existed. 29. Months before the revolution exploded, a secret raid in New Hampshire quietly stole the king's own gunpowder from under his nose. In late 1774, hundreds of colonists stormed Fort William and Mary, overpowering the tiny garrison guarding the royal supply. They hauled away barrels of gunpowder, cannons, and muskets into the freezing night. The stolen powder was hidden away, secretly waiting to arm the rebels soon to come. Word of the daring theft was kept hushed to avoid the gallows. Some say that very powder later thundered at Bunker Hill. The first blow against the crown struck quietly in the dark. 30. Inside the secret laboratories of New Jersey, military scientists chased inventions so strange they sounded ripped from nightmares. At hidden research posts, engineers developed weapons, chemicals, and devices the public was never meant to glimpse. Behind fences, they tested mysterious gear, from secret signal gadgets to experimental tools of war. Workers signed away their silence, forbidden to whisper a word of their bizarre assignments. Strange lights and sounds occasionally leaked beyond the gates, sparking quiet rumors among neighbors. Classified files swallowed the results, locking them away for decades. What truly emerged from those shadowed labs still hides in sealed government vaults. 31. When a strange wreck fell from the New Mexico sky, the government spun a cover story that hid the real secret for 50 years. In 1947, something crashed near Roswell, and the military first announced they had captured a flying disc. Then they quickly changed the tale to a simple weather balloon, sparking endless suspicion. The truth was a secret program called Project Mogul, which floated balloons to spy on Soviet nuclear tests. The classified mission was so guarded that even the soldiers were kept in the dark. For decades, the silence fueled alien legends. The real secret hid behind the saucer. 32. As New York burned during the Civil War, secret intelligence reports tracked a riot so violent it nearly tore the city apart. In 1863, furious mobs erupted against the draft, torching buildings and hunting victims through the streets. Spies and officials secretly recorded the chaos, documenting horrors the city wished to forget. Rioters attacked an orphanage and lynched innocent people in broad daylight. Troops fresh from Gettysburg marched in to crush the uprising with cannon fire. The grim death toll was quietly downplayed in official records. Hidden reports revealed just how close the city came to total collapse. 33. Off the coast of North Carolina, a secret war raged so close to shore that residents could watch ships burn from the beach. During World War II, German U-boats prowled these waters, sinking vessels by the dozens in a hidden slaughter. The Coast Guard secretly battled the submarines while the government hushed the staggering losses. Tankers exploded within sight of land, yet newspapers stayed silent to avoid panic. Bodies and wreckage washed ashore as families strolled the dunes. Sailors fought desperate duels in the dark Atlantic. Only later did the public learn how deadly that secret coastal war truly became. 34. In the heart of North Dakota, the government secretly flooded an entire people's homeland and buried the betrayal in paperwork. The Garrison Dam project drowned the richest lands of 3 Native American tribes beneath a massive reservoir. Officials pressured the tribes into signing away their territory, and a famous photograph captured a chief weeping as he signed. Families were forced from fertile valleys onto barren ground above. Sacred sites and ancestral homes vanished under the rising water forever. The secret deals and broken promises were quietly filed away. Beneath that lake lies a stolen homeland the nation chose to forget. 35. Behind the hangars of Ohio, secret aviation projects pushed the limits of flight while keeping the world completely in the dark. During World War II, engineers gathered at hidden airfields to test radical aircraft and captured enemy planes. They secretly dissected German and Japanese machines, unlocking the rivals' deadliest tricks. Strange experimental designs roared down runways behind guarded gates. Workers were forbidden to speak of the futuristic gear they handled daily. Reports vanished into classified vaults, sealed away from curious eyes. Some projects were so advanced they shaped jets and rockets for decades. The secret skies above Ohio hid tomorrow's weapons. 36. Across the plains of Oklahoma, secret documents recorded how an entire people were tricked out of their land and fortune. After oil gushed beneath tribal territory, the Osage Nation suddenly became among the richest people on Earth. Then they began dying mysteriously, poisoned and shot in a chilling string of murders. Greedy white guardians secretly schemed to seize the oil money through marriage and murder. Hidden land deals stripped native families of their rightful wealth. Officials buried the conspiracy under crooked paperwork for years. Only a fledgling FBI investigation finally cracked open the secret slaughter and the fortune stolen. 37. In the forests of Oregon, a secret enemy weapon drifted silently from the sky and killed the only Americans to die that way on home soil. During World War II, Japan launched thousands of balloon bombs across the Pacific, riding hidden wind currents toward the coast. The government secretly censored every report to deny the enemy any clue of success. Then a pregnant woman and 5 children stumbled upon one during a picnic, and it exploded. Their deaths were quietly hidden from the public for safety. Investigators tracked the strange paper balloons in secret, racing to solve the eerie aerial threat. 38. Inside the smoky mills of Pennsylvania, secret wartime agreements forged the steel that armed a nation while hiding deals from the public. During the World Wars, the government and steel barons struck confidential pacts to control production and prices. Mills roared day and night, pouring out the metal for tanks, ships, and guns. Behind closed doors, officials quietly suppressed strikes and managed the industry like a secret war machine. Workers sweated in brutal heat, unaware of the deals shaping their labor. Some contracts hid enormous profits and political favors. The hidden steel packs secretly powered America's victories from the shadows of the furnaces. 39. Beneath the calm waters of Narragansett Bay, the Navy secretly tested experimental weapons in Rhode Island that the public never saw. At hidden research stations, engineers developed torpedoes, sonar, and underwater devices cloaked in total secrecy. Strange machines were lowered into the bay as guards watched the shoreline for prying eyes. Explosions sometimes rumbled beneath the surface, rattling distant docks. Workers swore oaths of silence, forbidden to describe the secret gear they built. Classified results vanished into naval archives for decades. Some experiments were so advanced they shaped submarine warfare for generations. The quiet bay hid a laboratory of deadly secrets. 40. In the swamps and towns of South Carolina, a secret network of loyalists waged a shadow war against their own revolting neighbors. During the Revolution, hidden bands of King's supporters secretly spied, raided, and betrayed the patriots around them. Neighbors turned on neighbors in a brutal civil war fought in whispers and ambushes. Loyalist couriers carried secret messages to the British, exposing rebel plans. Some hid their allegiances by day and struck by night. The war here grew so vicious that families were torn apart forever. Hidden records of these covert loyalist rings revealed just how divided the colony truly was. 41. Hidden behind the giant faces of Mount Rushmore lies a secret chamber few Americans even know exists. The sculptor dreamed of a grand hall carved into the mountain to store the nation's most treasured documents. Workers blasted a tunnel deep into the stone behind Lincoln's head before funding ran dry. For decades, the unfinished room sat empty and forgotten, sealed off from the public. Then officials quietly returned, placing records about the monument inside a hidden titanium vault. They sealed it under a heavy granite slab most visitors never glimpse. The secret hall of records waits silently behind those famous eyes. 42. In the hills of Tennessee, an entire secret city rose overnight to build the most terrifying weapon in human history. Oak Ridge appeared from nowhere, housing tens of thousands of workers who had no idea what they were making. They turned dials and watched gauges for the Manhattan Project, blindly enriching uranium for the atomic bomb. Fences and armed guards sealed the city, which appeared on no maps. Spouses lived together yet were forbidden to ask about each other's work. Only after Hiroshima did the stunned workers learn their terrible secret. They had quietly forged the dawn of the nuclear age. 43. Along the wild Texas border, secret operations unleashed a wave of violence that the state spent a century trying to bury. In the early 1900s, the Texas Rangers and vigilantes secretly hunted and killed countless Mexican residents during a period of terror. Bodies were left in the brush as families fled in fear of the shadowy raids. Officials quietly destroyed records and downplayed the staggering death toll. The killings stretched across the borderlands in a hidden campaign of bloodshed. For generations, the massacres were erased from textbooks entirely. Only recently did buried evidence force the dark secret back into the open. 44. In the deadly deserts of Utah, the Army secretly tested poisons so lethal that one accident killed thousands of animals at once. Dugway Proving Ground became a hidden laboratory for chemical and biological weapons too dangerous for anywhere else. Scientists released nerve agents and germs across the empty wasteland, recording the grim results. Then, in 1968, a test drifted off course, and thousands of sheep died mysteriously in nearby valleys. The Army denied responsibility for years, hiding the truth behind classified files. Ranchers watched their flocks collapse without explanation. The secret weapons tested there still haunt the silent Utah sands. 45. On a quiet night in Vermont, Confederate soldiers secretly invaded from Canada in the northernmost attack of the Civil War. In 1864, a band of rebels slipped into St. Albans, robbed 3 banks at gunpoint, and tried to burn the town. Stunned townsfolk fought back as the raiders fled north with thousands of stolen dollars. The shocking strike came from the peaceful Canadian border nobody thought to guard. Canadian authorities arrested the raiders but refused to hand them over, sparking fury. The secret plot revealed how far the Confederacy reached. That sleepy town nearly burned in a forgotten northern raid. 46. Hidden in the Virginia woods sits a secret facility so classified that the government barely admits it exists. Known as the Farm, Camp Peary secretly trains CIA spies in the dark arts of espionage. Recruits learn to handle weapons, plant bombs, and slip surveillance behind its heavily guarded fences. Strange explosions and gunfire echo through the trees as agents rehearse covert missions. The base appears on no public tours, and locals know better than to ask questions. Officials refuse to confirm what truly happens inside. Within those secret grounds, America forges the shadowy operatives who vanish into missions worldwide. 47. At a secret nuclear site in Washington, the government deliberately released a cloud of radiation over its own unsuspecting citizens. In 1949, the Hanford facility conducted the Green Run, secretly venting radioactive material into the air to study how it spread. Nearby families breathed the invisible poison, never told of the danger drifting overhead. Cows grazed on contaminated grass, and milk carried the radiation into homes. The chilling experiment stayed classified for nearly 40 years. Only when documents surfaced did residents learn what had silently rained upon them. The secret cloud of Hanford remains one of the darkest hidden tests. 48. In the coal hills of West Virginia, secret investigation files hide the truth about a war between miners and the men who owned them. When workers rose up for fair pay, the conflict exploded into the largest labor uprising in American history. Thousands of armed miners marched on Blair Mountain, battling private gunmen and even aircraft dropping bombs. The government secretly tracked the rebels, building files on the so-called troublemakers. Mine owners crushed the revolt with hired force and quiet political muscle. The records of who spied and who died were buried away. Beneath those hills sleeps a forgotten American war. 49. Buried beneath the forests of Wisconsin, the Navy hid a massive antenna designed to whisper secret signals to submarines across the ocean. Project ELF used miles of hidden cables to send extremely low-frequency messages that could reach subs deep underwater. The strange system stretched across the wilderness, sparking fears about mysterious effects on the land. Locals worried about the unknown energy humming beneath their feet. The military insisted it was harmless while keeping the details secret. Protesters tried to expose the hidden grid for years. From that quiet forest, silent commands once traveled to the nuclear fleet hiding under the sea. 50. In the lonely hills of Wyoming, a secret oil deal corrupted the highest levels of government and toppled powerful men. The Teapot Dome scandal began when officials secretly leased the Navy's emergency oil reserves to private tycoons. Bags of cash and no-interest loans quietly changed hands behind closed doors. A cabinet secretary became the first ever sent to prison for crimes committed in office. Investigators slowly untangled the hidden bribes and forged paperwork. The reserves meant to fuel the fleet in wartime were nearly handed away. For a time, the secret deal threatened to rot the government from within. 51. On a small island off California, the government secretly tore an entire community from their homes in a single brutal sweep. Terminal Island held a thriving Japanese-American fishing village until war turned neighbors into suspects overnight. After Pearl Harbor, federal agents secretly arrested the fishermen, branding them potential spies without proof. Then families were given just 48 hours to abandon everything they owned. Bulldozers later erased the entire village as if it never existed. Their boats, homes, and businesses vanished into government hands. The secret destruction of that island community remains a quiet wound history nearly forgot completely. 52. Deep in the Florida pine woods, an entire black town was wiped off the map, and the truth was buried for 60 years. Rosewood thrived quietly until a white woman's false accusation in 1923 unleashed a murderous mob. Armed men descended on the town, burning homes and hunting residents through the swamps. Survivors hid in the forest as their community went up in flames. The death toll was secretly downplayed, and the massacre was scrubbed from official memory. Newspapers fell silent, and the scattered survivors stayed too terrified to speak. Only decades later did the suppressed records finally expose the horror. 53. Inside a Texas Army base, the government secretly hid the very enemy scientists it had just spent a war fighting. Through Operation Paperclip, America smuggled Nazi rocket experts into Fort Bliss to build weapons of the future. These men had served Hitler's war machine, yet officials quietly erased their dark pasts. Behind guarded fences, they designed missiles that would one day reach space. Their true histories were buried in scrubbed files to dodge public outrage. Locals never knew who truly lived among them. The secret recruitment of former enemies launched America toward the stars while hiding a deeply uncomfortable bargain. 54. In the Nevada desert, the government secretly ordered soldiers to watch atomic bombs explode just miles from where they stood. During Cold War tests, troops were positioned dangerously close to detonations to study how men would fight in nuclear war. The blinding flash and crushing shockwave swept over them as they crouched in shallow trenches. Many were then marched toward ground zero through the lingering radiation. Officials secretly recorded the effects while downplaying the deadly risks. Years later, these atomic veterans began falling ill in alarming numbers. The classified observation programs treated living men as silent test subjects. 55. Beneath the busy floors of Grand Central Terminal, New York hides secret levels the public was never allowed to see. Hidden deep below the trains lies a classified chamber once known only by a code name. During World War II, this secret basement powered the railroad and became a guarded fortress against sabotage. A single grain of sand in its machines could have crippled wartime troop movements. Soldiers secretly patrolled the depths, ordered to shoot saboteurs on sight. Even today, the deepest level stays sealed from curious eyes. Below the bustling crowds, a hidden world of secrets quietly endures. 56. On a calm Chicago morning, a ship rolled over at the dock and killed more passengers than the Titanic claimed in that city. The Eastland capsized in 1915 while still tied to the wharf, trapping hundreds inside in seconds. Workers and families bound for a company picnic drowned within feet of dry land. Investigators secretly probed the disaster, uncovering dangerous flaws hidden in the overloaded vessel. Officials and companies quietly shifted blame to dodge responsibility. The shocking truth about the ship's instability was buried in tangled reports. That quiet riverfront became the site of a forgotten American tragedy. 57. In the coal country of Pennsylvania, a secret society of miners struck back against their oppressors, and a hidden spy destroyed them. The Molly Maguires waged a shadowy war of sabotage and murder against brutal mine bosses. Then, a detective secretly infiltrated their ranks, living among them while gathering evidence in silence. His hidden testimony sent the accused men to the gallows in a wave of hangings. Some whispered the trials were rigged by the powerful coal companies themselves. The secret files behind the prosecutions raised haunting questions for generations. To this day, doubts linger over who truly controlled that deadly justice. 58. Beneath the harbors of Massachusetts, the military secretly rigged the waters with hidden defenses against an enemy that never came. During the Cold War, engineers laced Boston Harbor with secret mines, sensors, and underwater barriers. Hidden control rooms could detonate the waters if enemy ships ever dared approach. Soldiers secretly manned these defenses, watching for submarines creeping toward the coast. The elaborate system stayed cloaked in total secrecy from the city above. Fishermen sailed over hidden weapons without ever knowing. As the threat faded, the secret harbor fortress was quietly dismantled, its silent guns vanishing back into classified history. 59. In the factories of Michigan, automakers secretly transformed into a war machine that outbuilt the entire world. When war erupted, the government quietly ordered the auto giants to stop making cars and start making weapons. Assembly lines that once rolled out sedans now poured out tanks, bombers, and engines by the thousands. A single colossal plant secretly produced a bomber every single hour at its peak. Workers labored under tight security, forbidden to reveal the staggering output. Enemy spies desperately sought the hidden production numbers. That secret industrial miracle quietly armed the Allies and crushed the enemy beneath sheer, overwhelming might. 60. In the remote Alaskan wilderness, the government built a mysterious array of antennas that sparked some of the wildest secret theories in America. The HARP facility beamed energy into the upper atmosphere, officially to study the ionosphere. Yet its strange purpose and secrecy fueled rumors of mind control and weather weapons. Conspiracy theorists insisted the hidden array could trigger storms or earthquakes at will. The military stayed tight-lipped, deepening the mystery surrounding the towering field. Locals eyed the humming antennas with quiet suspicion. Whatever truly happened in that frozen research station, the secrecy alone made it a legend whispered nationwide. 61. In the shadowy streets of Old New Orleans, secret deals between politicians and pirates shaped the fate of Louisiana itself. The notorious smuggler Jean Lafitte ran a criminal empire while secretly mingling with the city's most powerful men. When war threatened, the very government hunting him quietly begged for his help. Lafitte secretly offered his pirates and cannons to defend the city in exchange for pardons. His outlaws fought fiercely and helped win a stunning victory. The hidden alliance between lawmen and criminals was conveniently forgotten afterward. Beneath the city's charm lies a secret history written in smuggling and shadowy bargains. 62. In a small Missouri town, a secret poison soaked into the ground and forced the government to erase the entire community. Times Beach seemed ordinary until officials sprayed its dirt roads with waste oil to control dust. Hidden in that oil was dioxin, one of the most toxic substances ever made. Horses dropped dead, birds fell from the sky, and children grew sick as the secret poison spread. When the truth surfaced, the government quietly bought out and demolished the whole town. Residents fled their contaminated homes forever. An entire community vanished from the map, swallowed by a hidden chemical nightmare. 63. Hidden inside a Georgia Army base, the government secretly trained soldiers from across the world in the brutal arts of warfare. The School of the Americas at Fort Benning quietly schooled Latin American troops, some of whom became infamous dictators and death squad leaders. Critics secretly uncovered training manuals teaching torture and intimidation. Graduates returned home and were linked to massacres and disappearances. The government long denied the disturbing connections, hiding behind classified curricula. Protesters fought for years to expose what truly happened behind those gates. The secret school left a shadow stretching across entire nations and countless silenced victims. 64. Just outside Denver, a secret factory built the deadly triggers for nuclear bombs while quietly poisoning everything around it. Rocky Flats manufactured plutonium cores in total secrecy, hidden from the families living nearby. workers handled the deadly metal as contamination silently leaked into the soil and air. Fires released radioactive particles that drifted toward the unsuspecting suburbs. The government concealed the dangers for decades behind classified walls. Then, federal agents stunningly raided the plant to investigate environmental crimes. Residents learned too late what had festered beside them. The secret bomb factory left an invisible poison buried in the Colorado earth. 65. In the deserts of Arizona, a group of Navajo men created an unbreakable secret weapon using nothing but their own language. During World War II, the military recruited Navajo speakers to build a code based on their native tongue. The enemy, who had cracked every other American code, found this one utterly impossible to break. These code talkers transmitted vital battle messages under heavy fire across the Pacific. Their work was so secret it stayed classified for decades after the war. Even their own families never knew their heroics. The unbreakable Navajo code quietly helped win the war from total obscurity. 66. Beneath the gray waters of Puget Sound, the Navy secretly tested weapons and submarines hidden from the watching world. Across Washington's coast, classified naval projects developed torpedoes, sonar, and silent underwater craft. Hidden bases guarded the secrets of America's submarine fleet behind tight security. Strange vessels slipped beneath the surface as guards scanned the shoreline for spies. Workers swore oaths of silence about the experimental gear they built. Classified results vanished into naval vaults for decades. Some projects pushed submarine warfare into terrifying new frontiers. Below those quiet northern waters, a hidden world of naval secrets silently took shape and endured. 67. In the blinding white sands of New Mexico, the government secretly fired captured enemy rockets to unlock the secrets of space. At White Sands, American scientists tested missiles alongside Nazi rocket experts smuggled into the country. They launched the feared German V-2 rockets, studying the weapons that once rained terror on cities. Each secret test pushed America closer to reaching the heavens. Occasionally, a rocket veered off course, crashing far beyond the range in alarming accidents. The classified launches were hidden from a curious public. From that secret desert-proving ground rose the technology that would one day carry men to the moon. 68. Hidden behind fences in Maryland, the most secretive agency in America quietly grew into a colossus that listens to the entire world. The National Security Agency expanded at Fort Meade into a sprawling complex shrouded in total secrecy. For years, the government refused to even admit it existed, joking the initials meant no such agency. Inside, code breakers and machines secretly intercepted communications across the globe. The buildings grew so vast they formed a hidden city of surveillance. Few outsiders ever learned what truly happened within those walls. From that secret fortress, unseen ears quietly captured the whispers of nations everywhere. 69. Beneath the vast Pacific, secret submarines slipped from Hawaii, on missions so classified that few ever learned the truth. During the Cold War, the Navy launched covert underwater operations to spy on distant enemies. Hidden subs crept into forbidden waters, tapping cables and recording secrets right beneath enemy fleets. The crews vanished for months, sworn to absolute silence about where they had been. A single mistake could spark disaster far from any rescue. Classified files swallowed their daring exploits for decades. From those island harbors, silent hunters slipped into the deep, gathering secrets the enemy never dreamed had been stolen away. 70. In the embattled capital of the Confederacy, a secret spy ring quietly fed Union generals the enemy's deepest plans. Hidden within Richmond, a daring network of loyal Unionists secretly gathered intelligence under constant danger. A wealthy socialite led the ring, fooling everyone by pretending to be a harmless eccentric. Her spies smuggled messages in hollowed eggs and stitched secrets into clothing. They even placed an agent inside the Confederate White House itself. Discovery meant certain death, yet they risked everything for the Union cause. The hidden spies of Richmond quietly helped topple the rebellion from deep within its own beating heart. 71. In quiet Nebraska, the state secretly carried out a campaign to decide who was allowed to have children at all. Under hidden eugenics laws, officials sterilized thousands deemed unfit. often without their knowledge or consent. The poor, the disabled, and the institutionalized were targeted in secret proceedings. Doctors performed the operations while families were kept in the dark about the true purpose. The disturbing program ran for decades, buried beneath cold bureaucratic paperwork. Only later did survivors learn what had truly been done to them. The secret sterilizations stand as a chilling reminder of power wielded silently against the helpless. And there you have it, 50 states and 71 secrets the history books quietly tried to forget. But here's the real question. How many of these did your own state hide from you, and which one left your jaw on the floor? Drop it in the comments below because we read every single one. If this video unlocked a secret you never knew existed, smash that like button and subscribe to Dumbest Things, where the strangest truths in American history come crawling back into the light. Hit that bell so you never miss the next batch of secrets. Now go tell someone the wildest one you just learned.